Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today. Give your whole day a boost with America's best multivitamins from GNC and save on your vitamins when you buy them in GNC VitaPack programs.
VitaPack programs combine expert-picked vitamins and minerals in easy-to-use daily packs to support health and wellness, plus targeted nutrients for your unique goals and lifestyle.
I'm trying to get it together health-wise. You guys know that. I've been talking about it on the show. And so to make sure I'm getting the nutrients I need, I've been using VitaPacks. It's been working great for me. You know, there's always a worry when you change your eating, like how's this going to affect everything? And I've been feeling great.
Great. Well, save money, save shelf space, save time. Be one of 1 million people every year who starts a GNC VitaPack program. Visit their stores or gnc.com for full details.
Get what you need now on Instacart. Pay now or later with Klarna.
Oh my goodness, we love Instacart. Ronnie, didn't you just get some Instacart today?
Today, okay, I needed some Topo Chico. So I opened the trusty app and I got everything that I needed. I love Instacart and we talk about it all the time. We use it constantly.
Whether you're just like stocking up for a party or an event or something like that, or you just need some sort of last minute grocery, like it has really changed the way I shop.
And now you can give yourself more time to party prep with delivery in as fast as 1 hour, and you get more flexibility to pay now or pay later with Klarna.
Get delivery in as fast as 1 hour, or you can select a delivery window that best fits your schedule.
Shop and pay in a way that works for you. Start your cart on the Instacart app or instacart.com today. New customers get $20 off your first 2 orders of $80 or more per order when you pay with Klarna using code KLARNA20. Terms apply.
See instacart.com or download the app for more details and to start shopping. Check out with Klarna to pay now or later California resident loans made or arranged pursuant to a California financing law license.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all that crap we love to talk about. Broken birds on Bravo, darling. I'm Ronnie. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please welcome my co-host, the hottest, sweetest, never going to cheat on anybody, or he's going to lose his fucking dick in the process, Ben Mandelker. Hi, Ben. Get over here.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you, Ben?
Oh, my God. Happy Vanderpump Rules reunion recap day. It's a big one.
The toxicity, darling. It's just lovely.
Wow.
I haven't had this fun with toxicity since Thanksgiving. I mean, my God. It's a good one.
I know. This was a wild hour. This is a wild hour of I'm sorry, everybody.
Really?
I did not. Wow, look at that. You know what? I'm sorry, whoever's calling me from Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. Excuse me.
Fucking
That's
call at CSI over there. Kiefer's calling in for some help from Cliff.
That is my ringtone. That is an ode to the long lost TV show 24.
Yes. Well, guys, it's a huge day. The reunion began. It was a great watch, a great hour of TV. All of these people, I'm sorry, they're all terrible people, and I loved watching them all be terrible together. It was just like a melting pot. You know, the people that I'm never on their side, I was on their side this time. It was just so different. It was so fun. It was so unique. And I want to thank James's Coke dealer. Huge shout out. Because, listen, I am a Coke lover of old times, not these days. These days I'm cleaned up, guys. But, that used to be one of my hobbies, and I would go back. I'm not apologizing. But I would just like to say, you know how hard it is to get a Coke dealer at any time of day, but James's shows up to the fucking reunion at 7:30 in the morning. I mean, good job on getting that Coke dealer. So this is a sponsored podcast to that Coke dealer. Thank you very much. Please send us your card. Great.
You know what? I am so happy that you have said that because I'm writing this down. You know why? Because I have my little newsletter I do on the side, my food newsletter, and this is not actually a plug, but I have my food newsletter, but as long as I am mentioning it, I will plug. It's called NBD Fancy.
Yes, it is. It's a Substack. All right,
It's a
go subscribe
Substack.
to it on the Substack.
And
On
so the
to-
reason why I bring that up is I was thinking about how like this Vanderpump Rules finale reunion has been so huge. The finale got the series' biggest ratings ever. 4.1 million people watched it. So
Yeah.
people were watching it who don't actually watch the show. And I've actually received texts from people who are like, I don't watch the show, but I actually tuned in to watch the finale because I wanted to see what all this was about. So I was like, there's watch parties and everything. So I was thinking, what if I've started to write a newsletter about like what you could bring to a Vanderpump Rules reunion watch party potluck. And so here's what I have so far. For Sheena, the Shishu Mai. Right?
That's good.
Sandoval, I
or
thought like
shishito peppers.
Oh,
Shishuto peppers.
That's actually better. I like that.
No,
better.
I'm not saying it's better. I'm just, listen, you
No,
say
'cause it's
shishu and I
easier.
start thinking of things.
Shishuto peppers. I like
Sushi,
actually more than
you know?
Shishu Mai.
Like
Shishito
instead of
peppers.
you could do shishu sushi and have like a sushi roll named after Sheena. And it
Sandoval,
could be in the shape of a corner.
corner. Well, every time you bring the dishes to the table, you have to yell corner. That is one of the rules. For Sandoval, what about? I was thinking like dirty rice because he's dirty. I don't know. I feel like
That's
there's probably something more damning, but I'm at dirty rice with him. Ariana, I thought green goddess like salad or something like that.
Or Tom Sandoval, you could do like a most extras, like a side dish, whatever the extras are, like the most potatoiest potatoes ever, like French fries on baked potatoes or something.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like not enough of a criticism,
Like a worm. What's wormy? Like a gummy, something with a gummy worm, like maybe a gummy worm parfait or something.
Yeah. For Raquel, baby backstab ribs.
That's good. I
was
that.
like, I like that pun.
Yeah.
And Lisa Vanderpump, I came up with LVPs and pasta pesto from Ina Garten. And so anyway, the point is this. James, you mentioning James as Coke dealer. Maybe for James, it's a Coca-Cola cake,
Oh, there's something
cake.
like powdery.
Yeah, or powdered donut cakes.
Yeah, or pasta, because it's not about the pasta, right?
Oh, yeah, duh.
Some kind of pasta, like not about the, I don't know, sauce pasta, like a sauce.
Not about the Coke pasta. I'll workshop it, everyone.
You could just do a methamphetamine base sauce for that pasta. Just run with that.
James, just bring meth to the party. Just bring a bag of Coke. You don't have to be creative.
All right. Well, before we get into it, we are on tour. We finish up in June. As you guys know, we've been telling you a lot, but this is going to be such a fun month for us. So come check us out. We're starting in June. Okay. We're going to 6 places, and that's where we're finishing. So listen up. San Diego, St. Paul, Minnesota, Chicago, Illinois, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, and the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut is going to be our big finale. It's going to be our amazing finale night. Also, we are a video podcast now on YouTube. You can find all our videos on YouTube for free. We wanted to add a bunch of stuff. We've been doing Patreon for years. We've been getting a lot of support from you guys over the years on Patreon. We really appreciate it. You guys let us quit our jobs and do this full time. We will never forget that. And so we're giving back, give back. So now we're putting our videos for free up on YouTube a week after they have aired on the regular feed. So if you're on Patreon, you get a lot more now. And if you're not on Patreon, you get a lot more now. You know what? We're all getting a lot more. Also, all the levels at Patreon now include the Discord feed. So we want to grow that community because that's a great private place for us all to go talk shit. So join that. Thank you for everything you do for us over there. I don't want to do too much because I know we're going to be here 3 hours today. Our shows have been getting longer and longer and longer. But before we get into the recap, I do want to talk about, Ariana. I have to say, Ariana is on the verge of people turning on her. I see it coming because she's really taking every bag that comes her way. Now, let me say my personal opinion on this. You get those fucking bags, girl. I wish I could put a Hamburglar mask on and be in the caboose of a train with you, just grabbing the bags as you throwing them to me and stacking them up. But this girl is not missing a bag. We got an email last week that was like, guys, Ariana has a very important announcement coming on her social media on Monday. What is it going to be? What is she going to say? What is she going to do about Scandoval? Monday comes, the announcement is, I love big razors. I was like, really, bitch? Seriously? Okay, so then there was that. Then there was the one this week. Oh, Ariana's finally moving out on Tom. And it was all over the news. It was everywhere. And then what do we find out? I knew that was fishy because those moving boxes were like file moving boxes. And I was like, what does she move? She wouldn't have file boxes. Like, you can tell she's never moved herself, you know. But then it turns out to be an ad for SoFi. And she's like, I'm moving out my finances. And I was like, Jesus, I've never seen somebody capitalize on pain this well. Part of me is like, that's tacky as shit. And the other part of me is like, you go. Because who knows how long this is going to last. You make all the damn money you can and then just disappear into the night is what I feel like she's going to do.
I'm ready for the next teaser. It'll be something like Ariana attacks Tom Sandoval with perfect breath. Ariana for certs. Like, she attacks Tom Sandoval. Everything's just like clickbait stuff for her.
Yeah. Ariana's dating twins. Double mint twins. But it is bizarre to see the publicity tour of talking about something so deep and dark. And it's so popular that it's on all of these shows now. And the people are just, like, she was on The View. And the people on The View don't watch it, you know. And I watched the View clip because I was curious. And, you know, it's like you got Joy Behar there making like, hey, I don't watch this shit. Like, what is this shit that you're on? Like, what a stupid fucking show. So what is it? Some guy with the mustache cheated on you? Like, what is this? What is this? He cheated. She's like, yeah, he sure did. He cheated on me. And then they're all kind of making jokes at the cheating expense. And
are you saying Joy Behar is out of touch with something? That's not...
It's just a weird disconnect of people who don't even watch it getting in on it. And Ariana just sitting there smiling like she's at the end of a beauty. It's like being asked questions at a beauty pageant, just smile like he sure did cheat on me with one of my best friends. But I'd like to thank SoFi for helping me take those dollars I had in my nightstand and turning them into a college fund for my future embryos.
I have to say, when Tom Sandoval did that to me, it cut. But not as nicely as a Bic razor. Also, like,
he was smooth, but not as smooth as my legs after picking him up. Am I right? Thanks, guys.
Wow, I saw my way out of that relationship fashionably for Bloomingdale's.
Girl, get the bag. Okay.
Get all cash.
Congratulations.
She's doing Dancing with the Stars. I mean, all these things. I feel like it's funny that you mentioned The View. I feel like I've seen a lot of things. I don't watch The View, but which is funny because I literally was just about to make fun of Joy Behar for doing exactly what I just did. But like, it does make me. I always hate it when people are on shows like that. And Joy Behar's like, so I don't watch this show. I don't watch this. So what is this show? This is like so you guys are like bartenders. Like, I don't watch this show. Tell me about it. Like, why are you flaunting? Do you think it makes you special that you don't watch the show that your guest is on? It's one thing for me to say I don't watch The View, but I don't have Joy Behar sitting next to me. I was like, well, I don't watch your show, but sounds like you got a scandal going on. Like, it's just so rude.
Right. Like,
Joy
I don't
Behar.
expect them to watch everything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I get it. Like, I get that you don't watch it. It's just... like, you at least know that this woman was cheated on by her partner of 9 years with her best friend. Why are you guys now hypocritical? I know, because here I am making jokes. But again, she's not sitting right in front of me. It's like, oh, so he cheated on you? What? You know, that's a guy you don't want to play Monopoly with. Am I right? Am I right? It's like, why are you making, you know? And then Ariana just has to sit there and smile through it. Like, mm-hmm.
And you knew that, like, it's so rude to even say that because you know that Ariana is now the new ambassador for Monopoly by Hasbro, for crying out loud. Hi, I'm Ariana, and I'm monopolizing on this situation with Ariana Monopoly, available now at your local toy store.
So good for her, get that money. So here we go into this reunion. Just warning people, this is extremely chaotic. There's going to be a lot of screaming and a lot of talking over each other. In other words, it's just like an episode of Watch What Crappens Anyway. So
yeah, I guarantee I'm going to get lost many times in these notes because there's so much happening and there's so much repetition. It's like it will be very easy to think that like we're farther ahead than we are behind. Like it's just going to be like it's like an escape room of a reunion, We're just going to be pushing things.
There's no
pushing
escape.
things and opening drawers and looking for clues.
Girl, we've got a full month of this. There is no fucking escape. So buckle in. Okay, so we start with Andy doing we get like don't, the black screen, the dramatic music. And then we hear Andy saying, how did this go from a one-night stand to a full relationship between the two of you? I'm sorry, is that your first question? How about this? How did you go from a peppy twink with a dream to a leathery Phillips Hue mauve-colored washed-up otter in 2 years, Sandoval? I mean, Jesus Christ. Is this what shaving your entire face does to you? Because I'm out. I started shaving my entire face when I saw him doing it on TV because he looked so young and adorable. Now look at him. What the hell? You look like something Keith Richards fucking shat out. How did you go from being so cute and young to this?
He's literally making Iggy Pop look like a viable Oil of Olay candidate, okay? Like it's like, hi, I'm Iggy Pop for skincare.
You look like a pre-cut belt. You know what I mean? Like a belt before it's been through the oiling process. Like what in the leather factory happened to you?
The California raisins are like, dude, have you thought about moisturizer?
Yeah. And so they've been loving these movie preview sound effects on Bravo. Their favorite one is the like the Inception one.
Mm-hmm.
But today they're using a lot of that really high-pitched
yeah.
It's from horror movies. It's like kind of that under the sea dong.
Under the sea dong. I like that. Also, they told their post-production department, listen, try to make this look as much like a movie as possible. So go crazy with the titles and the Chiron because this is going to be your moment to make it seem like a movie. So we get on screen after Andy asks that question, it goes, the scandal, all written in big white letters. And then it's like Andy asking Tom, like, are you in love? And Tom's like, And then we get like the whole trailer, like coming
the
up.
The scandal that changed everything. The reunion that uncovers the whole story. And then it cuts to Ariana crying, and she's like, I can't think of two worse people. I can't. You can't? Do you not watch Bravo? Have you heard of Hitler or Stalin? They're definitely. I mean, they're pretty bad. These two are pretty bad, but. She's like, there's no two worse people. And then we see her coming in her yellow jumpsuit. And I know it says something like, fuck boys. But it's like, I hope all boys die in a fire. Something like that. And she's talking to Katie. She's like, I don't see anything good coming for either of those fucking rats. Dong, dong.
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious. Dun, 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 dun. Cheating. Dun, 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 dun. Betrayal.
I'm surprised they didn't do a Fast and the Furious tie-in because, like, the NBC Comcast, like, they love a tie-in, I'm surprised Vin Diesel didn't sit down and be like, yeah, my thoughts on what happened with this controversy.
You want to see something Fast and the Furious? Put a bowl of Cheetos in front of Gail and watch her go.
Scandival. More like Scandival's gone. Because Gail ate it.
Okay, don't get all pissed off, everybody. Those are running Top Chef jokes. Enjoy our Top Chef recap coming out on Memorial Day. Ding!
Yeah. So Ariana's outfit does not say anything about fuckboys, but I think I did catch the word siempre in CMA on it. I don't know. I'm getting married. So then Andy's like, tonight, a reunion that may be more explosive and dramatic than anything we've seen in the show's 10-year history. I dropped my cue cards. I dropped all my cards. It's explosive.
That is the biggest moment of the reunion when Andy literally throws his hands up in the air and goes, my cards! My cards!
My cards!
My cards!
They show it on the trailer for this reunion. They show that moment, but it looks like he's being tongue in cheek. But then, like, actually, you see he's like kind of having a little tantrum.
He looks like
My
he's going to start
cards!
crying. It is so fucking funny. And it's funny that they don't even cut away from it or cut it out. Like, everyone just keeps fighting and they show Andy going on the ground, getting his own cards, going, my cards!
Also, laziest security team or most non-existent security team of all time. Like,
I don't
literally,
think those were security. I think those
it was
were producers.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. There was no security. Like, no one jumped in to help. Andy, do you think Andy made a request that if there's going to be a fight that he's going to be the one to break it up? Like, I wonder if he really... it would make sense if he asked that to be like, guys, it'll make for great TV. Remember the time that Teresa pushed me down in a chair 10 years ago? Wow.
You know, I don't know. I feel like he's too small for that. I feel like he doesn't want to be in that situation. You know what I mean? I think Andy likes being in this situation where he's seated next to everybody because I feel like shorter men specifically, there's such a thing, especially on Bravo, of like, I'll only date him if he's like 6'4", which explains the Southern Charm cast. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think that Andy prefers being seated next to people, which is always why he's first on the set. He's always sitting. You very rarely see him walk into the set. He's always sitting down next to He's got like a Tom Cruise thing. So no, I don't think he would purposely jump in between taller people than him.
That's true.
What do I know?
And actually, his favorite posture is actually not even to sit. It's to slide his head all the way down to the top of the chair and put his feet out and start texting.
Yes.
That's the. He's all the way down there.
Yeah.
So one day earlier, Avenue 6 Studios, and Andy is sitting down with Tom, and it's like, in a reunion first. Oh, sorry, he doesn't even say this. He just says it on screen, but I'll say it in Andy voice. In a reunion first, Andy sat down separately with the principals of the scandal to hear their sides of the story.
So then he's talking to Raquel first, I think. So he's like, oh no.
I think he starts with Tom.
It says, what is the truth? And then it cuts to Sandoval in the trailer with Raquel. And he's like, they're making us out to be pathological liars. I know, even though we're not. Yeah, we're dolphins. Wait, that was a lie, sorry. I hate ice cream socials. Yeah, that sucks. That was a lie too. What are we doing? Dong, dong.
Where's the truth? So we see like Tom sitting down in front of Andy, and Andy's like, "Hey Tom, hey Andy, how you doing? I'm okay."
Oh God, his despondent like, I'm depressed. I'm in a Clay Duval sweater. I'm gonna stare at the ground a lot and like look like I'm about to cry. It's like no one's falling for it, Sandoval. Okay.
So then, and then it's like, for Tom Sandoval, it was one final chance to come clean before the next final chance to come clean.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens. Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop.
Get cash back on over 3,500 stores across every single category, including fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, and so much more.
You're already shopping, so why not save while you're doing it?
Membership is free, and it's easy to sign up.
Rakuten deposits your cash back directly into your PayPal account, or they can send you a check.
Get the free Rakuten app and download the free browser extension.
Rakuten also finds you the best deals, sales, and coupons. They do the work of searching for coupon codes so you save time and money.
You can stack cash back on top of other deals like store sales and credit card points.
Start all of your shopping at Rakuten. Your cash back adds up. At Rakuten, you can find brands like Kate Spade, Farm Rio, Expedia, Verbo, Lenovo, Blue Mercury, H&M, Tom's, Banana Republic. So many brands.
It's free and easy to join. Just go to Rakuten.com now or download the Rakuten app today. That's Rakuten. We've finally almost made it to summer, and for all those events, beach weekends, weddings, and everything in between, our go-to shopping destination is always TheRealReal.com.
The Real Real is the largest and most trusted destination for authenticated luxury resale.
You'll find everything from Gucci, Prada, and Hermes to Ganni, Staud, and so much more, all for up to 90% off of retail.
Whether you're looking for an outfit for that upcoming wedding, a perfect summer sandal, or a vacay-ready beach tote, you're bound to find exactly what you're looking for on therealreal.com.
With up to 10,000 plus new arrivals every single day and deals you won't find anywhere else, there's truly nothing like The Real Real.
For easy shopping, download the app and use code CRAPPINS for 20% off your next order. That's therealreal.com and code CRAPPINS for 20% off at checkout. Terms apply.
Commercial.
So Andy's like, kind of feels like you're the most hated man on television right now, all right? And he's like, ugh, Andy. So then we cut to Ariana's interview, her one-on-one. And she's like, I'm much better now, Andy. Now that I've learned that all I really need for good hair is a hot oil treatment from... I was going to say VH1. What is a hot oil treatment?
VO5. VH1 presents VO5 by Ariana. Listen, all I know is in retrospect, I'm standing head and shoulders above Tom, which is why I prefer Head and Shoulders. It's a collab. Head and Shoulders X Ariana.
So, let's see. So then he's talking to Raquel, and Raquel's like in this blazer. Like Raquel's at the People's Court today. I don't know what Raquel thinks she's doing. Like she's like, I'm not behind on my. She's at the People's Court. Like I'm not behind on my rent. I'm in a blazer. You know.
She looks like she's about to present at a board meeting. She's like, here are the stats for last quarter's fiscal revenue. It's like, Raquel, you just put up a picture of Garfield. Oh no.
He's like, how do you feel about seeing everyone in a group setting? And she's like, pie chart. I'm sorry, I really don't know what that means. Could you be more specific? Copy machine, stapler, phone with cords in them. Please hold. It's like, all right, can we get this? Plug this girl into something. That would be great.
Did someone give Raquel the Uline catalog? Come on now. So, and then it says, for Raquel, it was a chance to explain how it all happened. ... But more on that later. I was like, well, that wasn't cinematic to say, but more on that later. Why do you have to even say that? Come on now, people.
Yeah. So then we go back to Ariana, and Andy's like, have you seen or spoken to Raquel since the scandal? And she's like, it took her like a whole 48 hours to text me. And then we see the text, and Ariana texted her, you are dead to me. And Raquel texted back, Ariana, I don't know what to say right now. Besides, I really fucked up, and I'm so sorry. And then Ariana wrote back, shut the fuck up, you fucking rat.
She goes, and then I blocked her. I was burned by Raquel, but wait, no one thing I'm not burned by? My Black & Decker iron.
Okay.
By Ariana.
I would like to also thank the Bravo gods, because I made a very specific request either at the end of last season or the beginning of this season. I did not ask for her to get cheated on, but I did say something needs to happen to Ariana to activate this pissed off side of Ariana, because I've missed it. Because on the show, you know, and we'll talk about this as we go into the recap, there's like all these accusations of she curates everything to make it look perfect. And I don't know that that's really the worst thing to do. I think that's probably a smart thing to do if you're on TV, is to not look like an idiot.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of accusations of that, and I think it's worked. I mean, she does look like kind of the saint of this show, you know, and we've always said it's like the nicest person on this show. It's almost weird that there's someone this normal and nice on the show. But my favorite part was when she got really pissed off in her first season, and her, I'm prettier than you and I'm smarter than you, so get the fuck over it, or whatever that was. I've missed that.
Yeah. Well,
anger, you know, and I love seeing. I'm sorry that we had to take this road to get there, but I love seeing it back.
I love it too, because she's actually so good at it. And I feel like Ariana's like Candy Burris, which is they just sort of, they float along, they do their thing. But then like, if you come for them, you better watch out, because they actually can react, and people don't realize that. And like for much of Ariana's time on the show, she was having to react to the Witches of WeHo. Mm-hmm. But then over the past, during the adulting phase of this show, she hasn't had to do it as much. And she just sort of been like there, almost on the sidelines, just sort of like been nice and sharing her struggles or whatever, but she hasn't really had to like clap back at anyone in a very long time. So people have forgotten that she can clap back quite well. And this reunion was a great return to form.
It really was. And it was, the whole thing when she was sitting down with Tom, and that had only been like, 2 days, I guess, that it took them to get the cameras back up, 2 or 3 days. But after the scandal happened on TMZ, I love that she was the one to call, because we found out in one of these interviews that she was the one to call producers and say, this happened. We need to get it on camera, which I fucking love. Okay. And then the other is when she told Tom, you know how we talk about like how the power of being a Real Housewife or a Bravo star or whatever goes to their heads and makes them all crazy. And it hasn't really done that to her, which I think has always been cool. But you just saw it affect her in that moment, because she saw the reaction across the country when it happened and how it was all over the news and how we all just rallied around her right away. And when she told Tom, did you really think you were going to be able to cheat on me and get away with it? It was like kind of that superhero moment, or that Avengers moment. Like, did you think you were going to get away with this? And then everyone just starts turning to dust and like flying away.
She has been masterful in this. And I think it was really smart of her to tell the producers, bring the cameras, not because it like helped elevate this story and made it even more of a media splash. It was her way of saying, Tom is like a narcissist, and he's going to try to spin this as if this were my fault, and I want this to be recorded. I want people to see this. And I think that was really good for not just, obviously, the show, but like I think it's really good for her legacy, because these days on the internet, everything he starts going out there doing Howie Mandel interviews and says, well, Ariana was like, she just like didn't want to have sex with me anymore. And like people kept dying in her life, and it was such a bummer. Like, I'm stupid. I hate her. And then all of a sudden people would be like, I don't know. I kind of am with Sandoval, but like people see this and they realize like he's garbage. He is full garbage, and she controlled the narrative. And the best way to control a narrative is to write things down with Microsoft Word. Ex Ariana.
Let AI narrate it for you. ChatGPT.
The power of IBM.
So Andy's like, he's talking to Sandoval again. He's like, looking back, when did you realize you had feelings for Raquel? That's how he says Raquel. He's like, Raquel. And Sandoval's like, honestly, Randy, throughout last year and the beginning of the year, I started to see who she really was, Andy. And he's like, so when did you guys first hook up? When did you see her boobies? Are they real or fake? Okay, if I'm going to show you 3 pair of boobies and you guess which pair is Raquel's. Like, Andy, this is not Watch What Happens Live. All right, we'll do it your way. Where are my cards?
Who's hotter, Julie Chen, Raquel, or Ariana? So Tom's like, so like, dude, like we had sex like that first night at the Mondrian, and like that the very next, see you next Tuesday, they were filming, and like we weren't a part of it, but like then like a bunch of us went out to the Abbey, and it was that night. And Andy's like, you had sex that night? He's like, yeah, I did. Okay, cool. And do you have any videos of that by any chance? Just for my own personal collection?
So then we cut back to Ariana's interview, and he's like, did you suspect anything at all? And she's like, no. And he says, you vehemently stood up for Tom. And she's like, I would. Just like Guard Me vehemently stands up for my home by giving it the best protection possible, Andy. And so we see clips of her standing up for Tom Sandoval, which, sucks. And she's like, but look, like as a loyal partner, if he gives me an answer, I give him the benefit of the doubt. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. That is how it should work. So then Andy asks Tom, he's like, so when you're all glamping for Raquel's birthday, at that point, were you two together? And he's like, no. We had that like first time, and then like we weren't together at all until we were together. Which was like not that long ago. Yeah, it's like we took a break.
The only reason I'm correcting it is because that's a phrase you use when you're dating somebody.
I know.
We took a break. You don't use that after a one-night stand. You use that when you're dating somebody. You fucking Nimrod.
That's what's so funny. It's like, it was just a one-time thing until we made it a second and third and just became a thing.
Yeah, we took a break after that one time eating. So he's like, so when did it pick back up? And he's like, and he's like such a bad liar. He like starts doing that like squint thing where he's like looking around the room and he's like, I remember it being a little after the Life is Beautiful party after we wrapped. Which of course is because he wanted to wait till after the season so that he wouldn't have to put it on camera. And that's important to point out because he's such a fucking hypocrite about this later. So Andy's like, but before BravoCon? And he's like, but you had that concert and I was standing in the front. And then we see a clip of this concert with Andy standing in the front doing his signature head bop, but his also confused face looking at Tom Sandoval rock out. He's like,
okay, cool. It's a child orchestra. Was not expecting that. Okay.
Wow.
I could have been just listening to John Mayer jam out, but this is cool, kind of.
And he's like,
when you're standing there on stage, I mean, I was there, okay? And like, when you're standing there on stage and like you see your girlfriend and your mistress next to each other, like, what are you thinking? And like, did it get you off? And he's like, no,
Andy,
no.
God. Really? No boner at all? Not at all? No, Andy. Did you get a halfie? No, Andy, I did not get a boner, bro.
What about when I lifted up my shirt and showed you my nips? Well, dude, that was actually like the hardest part for me.
That was disgusting, bro. You shouldn't do that to people. Just gotta be honest. Got a halfie right now. He's like, dude.
Hey, do you know any Grateful Dead by any chance? Because that would really, really complete this fantasy for me. Like Casey Jones, anything?
So then he is talking to Ariana, and he's like, so do you ever think, wow, how did I miss this one? God, it's so glaringly obvious in all the footage we've just shown. And she's like, more so with her than him, because, like, we all know men are trash. Like, no offense, but, like, but your girlfriends, like, I trust my girlfriend. So to have someone so ingratiated in my life and be my friend, like, how can I have someone that close to me and have time to cook dinner? I don't, which is why I use HelloFresh.
But I can't imagine doing this to one of my girlfriends. And so Andy's like, well, the big question on everyone's mind is, how did things come to you cheating on your girlfriend of 9 years with one of your closest friends? And Sandoval's like, well, Ariana and I kept our relationship like pretty private over the years, and like we had issues, and I felt like I was like her gay BFF who doesn't listen to Beyonce, which I guess, I don't know, maybe that disqualifies me from that analogy, but we put on a front when we were filming, and like, I even talked to our showrunner about it. Look, there's footage of me. Can you please play that footage, please?
And then we see a clip of him, and it's off camera, but we hear him talking, and he's like, yeah, bro, like, I feel guilty, because, like, people put themselves out there, and, like, it's important for us to, like, talk about this shit, and not just pretend like it's all amazing. Oh, really? Oh, so you were doing this already after you were fucking Raquel. So you were telling the producers you wanted to show Ariana, you wanted to show the world what a bitch Ariana was and how much your relationship was in trouble. So you'd have an excuse for doing all this bullshit that you're doing. And it's not a fucking excuse. You fucking loser.
Exactly. What
like,
a strange thing.
You don't see you're transparent. How stupid do you think the world is? You know? Come on.
Yeah,
we're not all casts of Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, like you're literally acting like you literally cheated on Ariana, and then you're saying you want to put all this shit out there. Like, he's a lunatic. So Tom's like, yeah, for us to have like these issues and keep them from people, like I didn't think it was fair to the rest of the cast. You know what's also not fair? Cheating on your girlfriend with her best friend.
Your whole affair you kept from the cast in the show. So I deem your lame, inconsequential argument invalid, sir. It's invalid.
So Andy's like, were there elements of your relationship that you were hiding or not sharing? And Ariana's like, I felt like I always showed everything. Like, from my point of view, he's framing it now as like something else. Like, he just has to. And he's like desperate. He will throw anything at the wall right now and hope it will stick, because he's the one who used to tell me. I mean, he coached me on this the same way that he's coaching Raquel. I mean, it's almost like He could be working for ZipRecruiter and giving great advice to people who are looking for jobs. ZipRecruiter by Ariana.
What do you think he's telling Raquel? And she goes, oh, he's saying, you got to get your story straight. We got to get our lives right, because if they don't have matching answers. And he goes, oh, you've moved from tears to anger, I see. She goes, yeah, but the indifference is becoming strong in me. And I love that that's her Star Wars thing. Like, the indifference is strong in you. It's like that's her superpower. Like, just not to give a fuck.
The indifference.
But
I would love that.
I have to point this out. You're saying that you showed everything, but that Tom coached you to make sure that you guys had the correct lies. And then you admit later in the show that there are things like Miami Girl and stuff like that that you kind of went with Tom and lied about to protect image. So you were guilty of doing the Tom, let's pretend everything was perfect when it's not. And I don't know that that's necessarily bad. I just feel like, as a recapper, we should point that out. Because you're saying in one sentence, like, I showed everything from my point of view. He taught me how to lie real good. It's like,
But I guess maybe what it sounds like is she's saying everything in my life I was like, I think she was maybe, yeah, I agree. It seemed like she was complicit, at least in Tom manufacturing these moments. I think where it gets fucked up is that Tom is the one who clearly is like, these are our stories. This is what you got to say. This is how we have to be. And she's like, fine, if you need this, fine. You know?
He's acting like, the problem is he's acting like he's always wanted to show everything when he's always the one who's lying and not wanting to show everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, it doesn't matter. And I think she makes this point later, and I think she makes a really good point later when she yells at Andy. And she's like, that's not the point, though. The point isn't, what have we shown? What have I lied about in the past? What is none of that matters. The fact is he fucking cheated on me with one of my best friends. That's the point. It's like, it's not, there's no justification for it, you know? Exactly. And so everybody in this whole reunion is trying to, well, Sandoval, Vanderpump, Andy, it's like, but why? Why would you cheat on her? And then he gets to come out with this whole defense on why he would do it, where it's like, you don't get to do that.
Mm-hmm. And like, also, isn't this such a great counterpoint to like Brittany? You know, like looking at like Brittany and Jax, the way she reacted to Jax cheating on her with Faith, you know, and like, but I really love him deep down inside, but like, you know, he did wrong, but like, I know he's good. And I love Ariana being like, fuck, no, this is terrible. And doesn't matter anything in our relationship, like this was wrong. So
well,
anyway,
it's not an exact comparison, only because if Faith wasn't friends with anybody, right? So
yeah.
And certainly not best friends with Brittany. So I guess that's like the main thing here, is that it was about, as we're told many times, I wasn't your best friend, ho.
I guess the thing is, it's more like we are seeing Ariana not fall for all the ploys and all the like, I'm a work in progress and it was my fault and I guess I was acting out and yada yada yada, all that stuff. Like, she doesn't fall for any of it. And we actually, this is like, she's just like, no. She just rejects it wholesale, and she refuses to let him change the narrative, the convenient narrative. She stays she just stays on message, right? And like,
she stays on message. And she has said in an interview that she did earlier in the week, there have been literally so many. Like, I don't know if it was the New York Times or the Penny Saver.
Yeah, she's on
It was
blitz.
one of the two, or something in
LA
between.
Times.
Yeah, but she was saying that he had been yelling at her the whole time about the affair, like blaming her and yelling at her. And this is how she knows. This is why she's like, fuck this guy. Then the minute the camera turns on, he starts crying and acting like, but I didn't want to hurt you. And so she's like, fuck this guy, you know, fuck this guy. Okay, so then what do? We go to Ariana, and she and are getting ready in the mirror now, telling each other they look amazing. And she was like, thank you. Like, I've probably lost 5 pounds in the past 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, now it's the day of the reunion. Ariana's like, same, I lost 5 pounds too, thanks to Nutrisystem. So James is doing his hair. He's doing his hairspray and everything, and the cast
spraying
is like,
the fuck out of that hair. You know what? Today I should have worn my Save the Earth shirt today instead of yesterday, because that Paul Frank monkey could have taught us all something today. James, what are you doing? You can't be spraying your hair like that. And James's new
fire
thing,
hazard.
I can't tell what he's had done to his face, but it's obviously something. Right? Can
Really?
you tell what he's had done?
I think his face look. I mean, it doesn't look like there's like fillers or anything. You think there's stuff?
Yes. There's definitely, he
steroids?
looks more like a, he looks more like action figure James than like, little kid weird face James.
Maybe he's like on
what I mean.
roids.
Like,
He got a little bigger,
he did get bigger, but there's something
muscle
different.
bigger.
And the only reason I'm pointing it out is because I love how vain he's become. I just think it's hilarious. Like every time they show James, he's puckering in the mirror and squinting his eyes like he's in a modeling. He's like,
I mean, he has never really looked this good, so he's earned his vanity. But it is hilarious. He really has. He's very aware of how good he's looking these days.
Love it. Feel it, James.
Feel it, James.
It's just the pucker and pout.
I know the
since
puckering. It's a little ridiculous.
It's such a it used to be a website on this show by Miss Katie Maloney.
It's almost like he has a divine addiction to himself. Sorry, I talked over you.
Baubles and bangles and beads, darling.
It's time for a commercial. It's time.
Audible lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment in one app. You'll always find the best of what you love or something new to discover.
The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, while traveling, working out, walking, doing chores, and that's what I've been doing. I have been listening to the book 12 Rules for Life because, listen, I am a huge self-help person, and this one has been great, and I could just listen to it on my morning walk every morning. And so now I'm walking and I'm learning.
That's a great use of it. So try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/crappins or text crappins to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappins or text crappins to 500-500.
Time for a Crappins commercial.
So then we go to Schwartz. Schwartz is the first one out on stage, and Andy does a story. And he's like, Schwartz, I've got a story on Instagram. Want to do with me? All right, here's my question to you. Were you silent or were you silenced?
And he's like, well, as usual, I won't commit to anything, so I'll just say the answer is both. What a fucked up situation, Andy. And Andy's like, yeah, okay, cool. Listen, I wasn't really listening to what you were saying. I was just trying to just make a cool selfie. So then
here's the important thing. I just want to show that, I want to show some solidarity with Katie by getting Bob Balaban frames, but this time they're in the same pattern as her arm tattoo. I was like, really? Are you wearing leopard print Bob Balabans right now to show solidarity with Katie?
Leopard Balabans. Did you get the new leopard Balabans? They look amazing.
Runner print Balabans out now, Lens Crafters.
Lala's out next. Lala looks like amazing. Oh my god, Lala just is like drop dead in this. And he's like, wow. And then James comes out and he's like, oh, James looking good too. Wow, everyone looks great today. It's like everyone got cheated on.
He's like, wow, everybody looks so good. Not you, Katie. It's like he doesn't say anything to Katie when she comes out in her ancient Greek funeral toga. He just like lets that one slide by.
Funeral toga. So it's more of a tunic than a toga, but either way, I feel like the time period was appropriate.
A tunic toga. Okay.
It definitely spoke of antiquities, like mourning during.
It was like a very sexy, like what happened on the way. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum outfit funeral.
A mournful thing happened on the way to the forum.
A very not funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
A very convenient narrative happened on the way to the forum.
So Vanderpump's like, oh, look at me. I feel like I'm dressed like a gladiator.
Speaking of. Yeah, she says that. She walks out. She goes, and she does like a like with her hand. She goes, I might need it. I'm ready to sort stuff out. And
I love each and every one of you. Now, don't forget, the truth is coming out today. And the truth is, men are right and women are incorrect. Thank you. It's magic.
Ariana comes out. Basically wearing seatbelts, like red seatbelts across her body. And Lala goes, ooh, you be hitting different today, girl. It's like,
I'm still
Lala.
waiting for some kind of association to come out against Lala. I can't believe nobody has said anything yet. But could you please stop it? It's fucking embarrassing. She's like, girl, you better step off the curb with your... I'm like, no, Lala, please stop. So then LVP's like, oh, Ariana, that's a revenge dress if I ever saw it. Aren't we just like best girlfriends? And Andy's like, wow, she's just like Princess Di. Still too soon. Can we not? Can we not? Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon.
Show.
Yeah. By the way, I have to say there was an article out last week. It was like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they were chased by paparazzi, but they got to where they were safely. I was like, okay, guys, we don't have to keep on capitalizing off the Princess Di stuff, okay?
Yeah, can we just stop? It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. So then Sandoval, of course, is the last one to come to the stage, and he gets the star entrance because they're like, here he comes, he's coming, walking past the bathroom. Walking past camera number 3, walking past camera number 2, and hitting the carpet. Give him light. Here he comes. Mustache incoming. Can we get the mauve painter in? The mauve painter, bring her in. They start coming on and like putting mauve all over his face.
Yeah. And Ariana goes, well, he looks like shit.
Mama says, I hate Sims. And I loved it because it was so soap dish when Celeste Talbot wins the Daytime Emmy at the beginning, and it cuts to her co-stars, and they're clapping but smiling, and they're like, bitch, hag, I hate her so much.
Ooh, that was a good Kathy Moriarty, Ronnie.
Of course, I've got that in my blood. Okay, so countdown. 3, 2, 1, here we go, the biggest story. Dong, dong.
Hello, we're back. Let's dive into the Vanderpump Rules Season 10 reunion, joined by Lisa Vanderpump and the gang, minus Raquel Leviss, who is not legally allowed to be in the same room, so we found her a little wagon and put her in the parking lot, and then...
Let's go check on Raquel, everybody. Let's check on her. There's a trailer. And here's Raquel in a trailer, which I hope is the place that she will be watching Vanderpump Rules from for the rest of her life. I just hope it's somewhere in Arizona.
Also, for people who are watching us on video, happy to announce that Raquel is also watching us on video. She is on closed circuit right now, just watching this being
We
broadcast.
have filed a restraining order against her, so she is not allowed within 100 feet of us. I love the caption, too, below the trailer. It's like, trailer, Raquel's trailer, 100 yards away from Sheena.
And it's in like a corner of the parking lot. It just looks like it looks like you should hear like
Yeah. It feels like there should be a nickel slot machine outside of it, Like
Francis-
you better learn a song, because singing outside nickel machines is probably the only job you're going to be able to get for a while, babe.
I feel like Frances McDormand's gonna come by and ask for like knock on the door and ask for sugar or something and check in to see if they're gonna be working at Yosemite this summer.
Is that from the movie
Nomadland
where they
reference.
sleep in cars and shit?
Yeah. For some reason I like reference Nomadland like every week these days, and I don't know why.
Nomadland. Well,
Love
that's
that movie.
probably what she's working herself into, is a Nomadland moment.
I know.
And I say good riddance. Bye.
I cannot imagine Raquel working at an Amazon fulfillment center. Like, by the way, if anyone gets the wrong package, just blame Raquel, because she'd just be very confused putting things in boxes.
This is why no one can get a raise. They're like, it would be like Jeff Bezos's excuse to never give anybody a raise. He's like, really? They want a raise? Show them the camera footage we have of that Raquel girl, please. Sorry, I'm all shitting all over workers' rights for a little Raquel joke. I'm just kidding, everybody. Okay, so then we go to back to Andy. He's like, Raquel will be joining us later, but Lisa, how are you feeling, Lisa? She's like, oh, I'm just so glad to be here. I normally don't like reunions, but this one is much needed, because at this one, I protect 2 ball sacks that bring a lot of income into my restaurant after losing 2 in the past few years. So let's just keep it. Let's keep our hearts open to who really matters here. The men, darling. Bless you, men. Thank you for all of the ribs you've donated to create us women. Am I right?
This reunion is a jockstrap.
I am a cup, and they are the testicles. I shall protect.
Wow. I love me some LVP. I love her, but wow, you talk about missing the mark, lady. You really needed to have a good sit down with yourself before you walked in here. It's this whole protecting your investment thing over saying the right thing was really stupid of you.
I got the sense she was trying to be like wise and unbiased and see it from both sides. But I think that she wound up coming off or just wound up saying things that just were like big missteps for Lisa Vanderpump. Like it was like, oh, Lisa, no, just you don't have to do this. You don't have
While
to
we're
defend
talking
these guys.
about this, I would like to just add, because I was reading this on Reddit and I thought it was a really good comment. It's by someone named the Smart Girl. Okay. And she's defending Lisa because people were really coming for Lisa last night after this. And she said, LVP defended Lala and her escort work. LVP defended Stassi and her racist shit on the show. LVP defended Sheena when people attacked her over how she handled Shay's addiction. LVP defended her when it came to Eddie cheating. LVP defended Katie when she was called out for being a bully. The only one LVP never defended was Kristen. Now, I think this is a great point. LVP does come in and she stands up for the wrong person every season. It's not just this time. I will say this time is the most drastic because you have more of a responsibility because you're making even more money off of this prick. Okay. And by excusing this or trying to help minimize the backlash for him and by proxy yourself is just a very bad look. It's a very bad look.
I think that's whoever said that smart girl, that you are a smart girl. Was it smart girl or smart one?
It's the_smart_girl.
The smart girl, you're correct. I think what this shows is that Lisa's basically just a public defender for this cast. Like these people, they come into court. They're just assigned her. She's like, all right, what's the case here? Okay, let's see what I can do. I'll try to do my best. She's got she's basically the equivalent of the public defender who has like the brown suit and like the tie that's like a little askew. He's like, Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to excuse this temporary insanity. It's like, that's what she is right now.
She is. I think that's such a good comparison.
I think
just here to protect the poor. Well, at least the poorer than me. Forevermore. All right, who have we got here? All right, which bad spray tan do we have loaded up next, darling?
As someone who was bullied off her very own show, I just can't see people be railroaded into oblivion. So Andy's like, Ariana, how are you feeling tonight? And she's like, well, as good as I could be feeling, I guess. I mean, I got a great night's sleep on my Casper mattress, and that's never happened. I'm usually very nervous for reunions.
And Sandoval, is this your first time seeing the group since news broke? And he's like, yes, Andy, it is. And he's like, how are you feeling? And he's like, Andy, I'm just all over the place, to be honest. I really wish I had my Clay Duval sweater right now to make me feel better. And then it just cuts to James puckering into the camera, like squinting and like, oh, look at me, darling. And so Andy's like, Shishu, this is your first reunion. No. Schwartz, this is your first reunion, not seated next to Katie. How does that feel? And Schwartz goes, oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it is. Whoa, now that you say it, that is strange. Wow.
And James just turns to Lala and goes, it didn't even cross his mind, did it?
Lala cracks up loudly.
So Schwartz is like, yeah, it's kind of sad, but I'm okay. We put a lot of work into our post-divorce relationship. Kitty's like, I don't agree with that. What the hell are you talking about? It's more like you keep on emailing me and I keep hitting block, block, block. How do you keep on getting through my filters?
Yeah, and he's like, well, no one cares about you guys anymore. Your storyline was stupid and mostly made up. So, James, now that all the ladies are mad at Sandoval and Schwartz, does that mean that you are the number one guy in the group? That's funny. That's a callback to a long time ago. Remember that, Jax? That's some funny stuff. My cards.
And James is like, well, it's not that hard to compete when I'm working with Schwartz and a clown. And he goes,
Okay, great, Katie. Great to see you. Love the tunic. Hi, Lala. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you a question, Katie. Hi, Lala. How's Ocean?
he doesn't ask her a question. He sits here and asks
Like
them
you. I'm
Right?
telling you, it's real. It's real.
This
It's
isn't
so
us being
funny.
shady. This is not being like quote unquote anti-Katie's. This is Andy literally is like,
Hey, Katie. Nice. Anyway, Lala, what's going on? Hey, Lala, I heard you got some new Lee press-on nails. Tell me about your cuticles. Sorry, Katie, got nothing for you.
So funny. So he's like, who's with Ocean? Your mom, Sheena. Congratulations on the wedding, Sheena. Are you and Brock in the wedding phase or the honeymoon phase still? And she's like, yeah, Andy, he cut off all of his hair yesterday. And Sandoval goes, what?
I told him he has to keep the hair long to be on the show. I don't coach
Sandoval
people, though.
furious. Oh my God. That haircut, they show Brock with that haircut. Good God, that man is gorgeous. I love that man.
I have to say,
love him.
I have to say, I liked him with longer hair more. I'm not someone who's normally a long hair person, but I really liked Brock's long hair.
God, I love that man. I
But I was
can't
happy
wait to
for
have
him.
babies with you and you not pay for them, darling. Get over here. Get out of my dreams and into my car, sir.
Speaking of Ocean,
Billy Ocean.
so Andy's like,
Well, obviously, the most burning thing on everyone's mind today is who has better boobs, Kelly Cuoco or Katie Maloney?
And then we see Allie being the one to break the news. Like, I saw Tom Sandoval dancing with Raquel at the Abbey, and I was like, that's weird. And then Ken coming into the kitchen and going, I can't believe that Tom Sandoval had Raquel over when Ariana's away for the night. First they went to the hot tub, and then she slept in the guest room. Supposedly, all right, I'll be over here.
lots of stuff going on. I'm gonna knock a
Spark out. Spark out.
Anyway, gotta go check on the horses. And then as they dive into this segment, it cuts to Raquel watching, and she literally looks like she's settling in to watch Full House on TGIF. Her chin's in her fists, just watching like, oh, my favorite show is on.
Yeah, she really does have like Grease when they're like, tell me more. Slumber party night.
Slumber party, tween energy.
Yeah.
So,
Andy's like, Sandoval, before we dive in, is there anything you want to say to Ariana or the group at large? And Sandoval's like, I just want to
pull yourself
thank-
together, man. This isn't the Oscars. What the fuck are you doing, man?
you're not
Shut
a
the fuck
victim.
up.
You're not a
That's
victim.
ridiculous.
Shut the fuck up.
You
You're
shut
stupid.
up.
Like,
You're not opening
sad
for
sack actors
Cascade, for
bullshit.
Christ's sakes.
So-
What's the tears about?
Let him speak.
Loser.
Let him speak.
Okay. I'm not a victim. Yeah.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, what are you
boo-hoo.
asking for? Change under
Because
the
baby
freeway?
wants to
Give me a
cry.
fucking break.
Yeah,
all
baby
right?
wants to
Give me a fucking
cry.
break, you fucking
Wow,
baby.
wow,
Grow the
wow.
fuck
Wow,
up.
wow. Why don't you be
fucking like
hotter
you.
like
You're ugly
me?
too. Stupid. Just that whole side of the room just turns into an audience and just starts booing him, like
Yeah.
booing him and talking over each other and just like completely mocking him. And it is the best shit I've ever seen.
It's hilarious. So Andy's like,
Tom, you have the floor. So he's like, I just want to say that I appreciate everyone. Stop it, James. Stop it. I just want to say I appreciate everyone being
Pull
there for
yourself together,
Ariana.
fucking crocodile tears, pussy.
I'm trying to say it. Like, no matter what was going on in our relationship, like, she did not deserve this, and like nobody deserves to have it happen.
and Ariana's like, nothing happened. You did it. I was like, oh, yes, Ariana, right out the gates, making such good points.
And he's like, I'm sorry, but like I did the one thing I said I wouldn't do, and I did it in the worst way possible, and I apologize. Actually, it's not really that dramatic. I mean, I was expecting it to be because it's Tom, like the king of the fake overdramatic CW crying on this show. But it was actually really dead. I think he's going for, they're not going to let me get away with this shit that I'm trying. So now I'm going to go to despondent PTSD victim. You know, like this has been so traumatized. So he's actually like, I did it in the worst way possible. I apologize. And James like, nah, that didn't hit for me. How about you, Lawler? And she's like, I didn't even listen to that shit.
So Andy's like, well, what have the conversations been like between you and Tom, Ariana? And Ariana's like, well, he's victim blamed me 100% of the way, so I don't believe anything that came out of his mouth. I just think he's full of shit and he can fuck off.
So, Tom, both of you, are you still living in the house you own together? And Tom's like, on and off, yeah. And Ariana rolls her eyes. Like, what does that even mean? And Andy's like, Lala, when you broke up with Randall, you moved. Do you think it's healthy for them to be in the same home? And she's like, no. Sandoval's is Randall's. Give it 10 years. He is Randall Emmett. He's Randall Emmett. No, Randall is a fucking outwardly racist predator that we've seen. Like, there's a whole documentary about the sexual harassment and sexual abuse and racism and all that other shit.
He's a slimeball piece of shit.
You were kind of fine with when he still had money and you were with him back then. Like, this whole rewriting of history, like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know all this about Randall. This is crazy. Yeah. You had everyone sign NDAs. He was such a piece of shit. Okay?
Randall.
So please.
Yeah, like Randall, we saw that one coming. Like it's like so blatantly obvious, right?
Yeah.
So she's
and like, well, Lala, I have to just get that out there now because I don't want to be a hater the whole recap because frankly, Lala's so good in this episode, and I think this is like her reunion. I mean, I think this is like kind of her season in a way. Her and James are killing it. They're getting their revenge on people who, you know. Yeah. They're getting on revenge on a cast who has been shitty to them in the past. Like, it's finally their turn to be this way, so I kind of get it. Mm-hmm. But I just want to point out that all of this that Tom has done does not excuse everything that you two have done. Like, the audience doesn't just completely forget, and so stop acting like you're the biggest fucking victims in the room. Okay,
I also felt like this was her subtle way of being like, excuse me, I'm in a scandals too. So does anyone want to address the fact that I'm in a scandal? It's like, this is not the only scandal happening. She's sort of like elevating herself up into it.
I think you're absolutely right. And she gave an interview earlier this week where she was saying she feels a little disappointed in the audience because the audience is having this reaction for Ariana, but nobody had that reaction towards her. And I was like, yeah, because Ariana wasn't knowingly dating someone like Randall,
like a pig, like it was a surprise pig, not a
and then holding
pig,
right, and then holding like the private plane over people and just like acting all holier than thou because of the power they were getting from this obvious trash human being that they were sucking dry. You know what I mean?
Plus Lala's whole career on Vanderpump Rules has been her storyline being upstaged by someone else having just a bigger version of her storyline.
Yes. I thought of you saying that while I watch this. I was like, this is Ben's Lala theory coming into play yet again, coming true.
Every single time, like good, bad, anything that happens with her, like engagement, pregnancies, deaths, cheated on. Someone just always has it just a little bit bigger, and she just always is just.
And it was
never
double. It was double this year for her because she got the Randall thing first, but then by the time they were shooting, Katie left Schwartz. So she had already been stood up once this season, and then she got stood up the ultimate way by the reunion.
Yeah. So ultimately, Lala says that, like, she's like, yeah, it was crazy because Randall, like, I couldn't, like, he was never around. And then once I said I want to leave him, I couldn't get him out of the fucking house. And that's like what a narcissist does. And everyone needs to be warned about Sandoval because he is that person and he is a dangerous human being. So Lisa's like, oh, wait, hello, clocking in, public, Lisa Vanderpump DA. Or not DA, public. Not DA, but whatever.
Objection. Objection. All right. Lisa Vanderpump, counsel for the poor here. All right. Yeah. Dangerous. That is a character assassination. That should not be allowed. Leading the jury, darling.
Lala's like, well, I didn't ask for anyone's opinion because, well, you have my opinion. Just like you have magic. And so Lala's
like, well, that's great. I reject it. I reject your opinion. Well, good for you for doing that because Lisa Vanderpump is full of shit with this. Now, I do think saying dangerous. Okay, first of all, a couple of things. Randall Emmett was suddenly all the time home because he was in the news all over the place after cheating on you, because that was also the same time that he was broke. He owed people all this money. He was being sued by all these people. All the sexual allegations started coming out. He literally could not leave the house. That's why he was there. Is he a narcissist? Fuck yes. He's a trash human being and a narcissist. Is Tom Sandoval the same? I don't think so. Still fucking terrible, though. So I'll give you that.
I think Sandoval's probably a narcissist.
I think it's and I think also there is an element of him taking advantage of Raquel, because I don't know what's going on with Raquel, but she seems like a lot like there's something going on where either she's lost, she's got addiction issues, she's completely gullible, she's completely in a depression hole, whatever the hell's going on. This kind of creepy older man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily safe either. I don't know where I am on this. I'm all over the place on this.
I mean, like, I don't feel like Tom Sandoval is as predatory as Randall Emmett, and Randall Emmett's also in a position of greater power, and he's able to really do a lot of terrible things to lots of terrible things to people, not to terrible people. I don't. Yeah, I guess. But you could still say that Sandoval is dangerous in the fact that he can still fuck with people's emotions, and that's a dangerous thing to do. Either way, I think
the compelling thing about her argument and putting these things together and making the comparison is that it puts us in the situation of being like, well, wait a minute. If you say anything about this, you're somehow defending Sandoval. Which I'm not going to do. That guy's a total piece of shit. So she's actually very smart, this move that she's making. Like conflating the two men is actually very smart for Lala, because it makes it like you can't question anything coming out of her mouth, or you're standing up for one of these pieces of shit. And I'm not about to do that. So why don't I just shut the fuck up?
Well, I think that, and what I'm assuming is actually that Lisa Vanderpump, not to be an apologist, but I think that Lisa Vanderpump is like, whoa, Randall Emmett is like deep scum of the earth in like many different dimensions, and Tom Sandoval is scum of the earth in a few different dimensions, but not as many as Randall Emmett. So it's not a fair comparison. I think that's what she's trying to do. But honestly, I think this is one of those moments where Lisa should have just let it go like this, because now you look really bad. You look like you're really defending Sandoval, who's really indefensible. So,
and you've put yourself in the absolute wrong place. Like, she got trapped in this, right? Because there's no right way to say, you can't say that about somebody, because Tom's so in the wrong. Standing up for him in any way is just not going to work for you. And it also put her in the bad place of now the cast can say, fuck you to Lisa, who's like the boss.
And her credibility
so now it diminishes her whole role in the show.
I agree. And I think this is just not the forum to try to argue sort of philosophical ideas of what makes someone dangerous. You know, when you're arguing with Lala on a reunion, like, it's just never going to work out. So Lisa should have just like dropped it and let them say it and let them all get it off their chest and have their moment, because that's really what needs to happen here, is for people just to yell at Sandoval and
I agree.
And like let off the steam.
But I understand, because I even fell into the trap just right here on the podcast talking about something that's already happened. So there you go. I fell into the same hole. I was like, wait a minute. Let's talk about who's worse, Sandoval or Emmett. You know, they both trash is trash. Okay?
Trash is trash. At the end of the day, they're both in the trash bucket.
At the end of the day, they're both at the fucking curb, waiting to be picked up.
Yes. So Lala's basically like, he's like sleeping next to his life partner. Like, that's, if he can do that, like, there's something wrong with him. And Lisa's like, but a lot of people have done that before. They're not dangerous people. And Lala's like, they are dangerous. Gah! Sandoval's like, Lala, if you're going to judge my character, you need to get in line.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, you shut the fucks ups. You shut the fucks ups. And Sandoval's like, yeah, get in the back of the line, all right? And LVP's yelling, calm down. And she says, I'm not going to calm down. And she goes, we're here for 10 hours, for God's sake, darling. Please don't start like this.
Oh, darling, it's a long time. Ken is there waiting. You cannot do this to him.
So Andy's like,
Ariana, you started off the year by saying how you and Sandoval were not spending quality time together. Do you think that's what caused this divide?
And she's like, no, I think he caused the divide in the relationship because he was fucking other people.
Okay.
And Then she tries again. LVP tries again. What are you doing, lady?
Oh, yeah,
She's
this one,
like-
I did not like this at all.
She goes, oh, and well, other people is very different than Raquel. And Ariana's like, oh, don't worry, it's not just Raquel. And then we see the clip of Sheena being like, that was Miami girl the first time you cheated? And he's like, there was one other time. Which also he had his trademarked lying eyes in that. So God knows how many times it really was.
And Ariana's like, that fucker is at fault because he's the one who made all these choices. And Andy's like, Sandoval, what do you think caused the demise? And he's like, well, like slowly over time, like our communication, our connection slowly dissipated. And Andy's like, well, had he discussed those things with you? And Ariana's like, well, of course, over time it's not like we don't have conversations, you know? And so Andy's like, but Tom said you hadn't been intimate in years and like we're kind of like glorified roommates at a certain point.
This is what I loved because this was pissing me off too. I'm like, what are these questions? What do you think caused these problems? What do you mean these problems? He fucked Raquel. He fucked his girlfriend's best friend. What do you mean what caused it? He fucked her. Who cares what? He made a bad choice. Like, why are you trying to make it some relationship thing that somebody else is responsible for? It doesn't matter if their relationship sucked and she didn't touch him for years. It's not the point, you know? And so I like that Ariana was like, that's not true. We have been intimate. Also, having intimacy issues does not excuse literally any fucking thing. You work on it or you break up. So going through the ins and outs of our relationship is fucking pointless. And James goes, yeah, it's pointless, stupid, pointless. And she goes, yeah, it's victim blaming. And Schwartz is like, guys, we're all in agreement here. There's zero justification for this. And he's like, we're at a reunion, though. It's supposed to be like therapy. And Ariana's like, it is not like therapy. Talk space. Now that's therapy. And you can do it in your own time from even your car. Ding.
So
Andy's like, okay, I'm just trying to get at what the state is of your relationship.
And Ariana's like, well, the state of our relationship is this, what you're seeing right here.
And he's like, well, so did the rest of the group sense that there were significant issues in the relationship?
And Sheena finally gets to talk. She's like, like not until like more recently when like Lala and I had a conversation with me saying like she really thought something was like going on between like him and Raquel. And then like after that, like I sat down with like Ariana and like from the sounds of it, like everything seemed great. And like everything had been like very smooth and like normal. And like they had been like very intimate in the month and their communication was better. And they were like in a very good place. And I believe they were like listening to Good as Gold every single day. So I think everything was good.
I love that when she said, they were so intimate that month. It's just Raquel pops up on the screen like, they were? Like, wait a minute. This isn't what Tom told me. I can't believe it. Would Tom lie to a paralegal? I have a blazer now.
Okay, so that conversation with Lala happened after filming had wrapped,
And yes, it was in January.
so Andy's like, so once you started your relationship with Raquel, why not come clean to Ariana?
And your friends, do you know who I am, Tom? Do you know who I am? He goes, yeah, you're James motherfucking Kennedy. And he goes, oh, what is that to you? And LVP goes, James, darling. All right, listen, calm it. I think Ariana's a little more important right now. All right, where's this? Where's this James? What have you done to your face, Buzz Lightyear? What's going on over there? James is just like, oh, really? You hurt me. You were like a bro.
Yeah, Ariana's like, yeah, they were like brothers. And Sandoval's like,
We were like brothers. I talk to you like once a month, dude.
and Lala's like, yeah, and let's not forget Raquel was his fiancée.
And Sheena's like, hello, Raquel. It was like the best festival. And that wasn't a festival that year. It was like amazing. And James says, oh, wow, not my brother. Oh, yeah, you paid for half his engagements. What are you talking about? And Sandoval's like, I know, bro. And James yells, you've been a big bro to me. And he goes, well, that is what you call me. Yes. Okay, Tom. Really?
It's so rude.
That's so fucking
You paid for that. You paid thousands of dollars for that thing, and then you're gonna act like you weren't his big bro.
Yeah, Tom is just so gross.
But by the way, though, I have to say, like as entertaining as James was, he was kind of annoying me because I did feel like this was a moment for Ariana and Tom, and James kept kind of like butting in, like he was the one who was most like hurt by this whole situation, and like yes, he was hurt, but it kind of bothered me that I felt like he was not letting Ariana have moments where, like, there were moments where it was for her to answer a question or for her to express herself, and James would butt in and be like, hey, what about me? What about me? I was hit too.
Well, in this instance, she jumped in like, well, he considered him a brother. Like I think she likes
helped.
having that whole team behind her, just being like, fuck you. You know, like every time they booed, she booed along with them. I think she's actually like, we're teaming right now, and it's good. But it was annoying me too, because James and Lala are both, I mean, the second this whole thing happened, they were in every comment section of every article that was posted on Instagram, being like, oh, that pig and blah, 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 making it all about themselves, you know, and trying to like center themselves, you know, and like he's making Sandoval songs in all of his shows that are being put out all over the internet. And she's making every podcast about him and every like, send it to Daryl. Like they're both capitalizing so hard, which is their show. They're allowed to. But it's just like, you guys are going so hard. You won't shut up. It's not even your plot line. And you've both been such shit people. Like, I mean, it's weird seeing people cheer James on to this degree when James is still at heart an abusive piece of shit. And we can't forget that. You know what I mean? James is still like the calling girls fat sluts and, you know, God knows what he put Raquel through before any of this even happened. So that's what kind of makes this show uncomfortable in general, doesn't it? It's like whenever you're rooting for somebody, it's like they're usually trash. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be rooting for trash on this show.
But that being said, I don't actually mind so much them capitalizing off of it as much as I just James getting so angry, James being the one getting into a fight or whatever. I don't know. I kind of felt like I was like, that's kind of Ariana's place. I don't know. You can be angry, you can be annoyed, but I felt like James's his rage. I mean, let's admit it. I mean, he was coked up. Let's be honest. So it was also coke rage. But I just kind of felt like he was upstaging Ariana in a way that I was like, no, let's have Ariana be the one who takes the lead with the crazy rage. And I do think that Ariana liked them having her back, like that. It was like, yeah, it's all of us against you, and not in a bad way, as in like you've hurt all of us, and now we're coming for you. So I think she definitely liked that. But I just know there were just times where I felt like, James, like, could you be quiet for a second, because I want to hear what Ariana has to say.
Yeah. So he's like, well, it just goes to show what a bad friend you are, you opportunist. And Sandoval's like, opportunist? You fucked Kristen to get on the show 5 days after we broke up. Which, I mean,
I was like,
point. He has a point.
I was like, I bet Ronnie liked that point. So James
it is like, a point. But I also get James's point of like, I was 21. Like, how long are you going to hold shit against me? I was 21 years old and you're 40. And Sandoval goes, and you use my condoms. And then James is like charging him like he's going to fight him. And Sandoval's like, get him out of my face. And then Andy's in between them, like,
and Raquel's in shock,
reaching up, like, guys. It's like Andy's in the Rose Parade, like, trying to mediate a fight between Garfield and Mickey Mouse floats. You know, it's like, come on, guys, rules.
It's like, it's chaos. Andy's like pulling James away. James is like definitely like coked out. He's like, his maroon suit's like flying all over the place. And then like Andy drops his card. This is where the card moment happens. And then Raquel in the trailer goes, oh no.
And he's like, my cards. And he's like trying to find his cards, just genuinely upset, right? And Sandoval's like, I stood up for you. And James is like, oh, fuck you. I don't want you to stand up for me. Pussy, you're a clown. Yeah, well, I went against everybody for you, dude. He's like, and you know what? Your band sucks dick. You're a nothing. I've played for Cascade.
You backstabbing hoe. So then Sandoval's
calls him a backstabbing hoe.
And Sandoval goes, get in my face again and I will fuck you up. So then James is up and out of his seat again, charging. So this time, and he's like, I will fuck you up, bitch. I will fuck you up, bitch. So now Lisa and Andy are both up trying to pull people away. I mean, Lisa is standing up trying to pull people up. I mean, where was Peter, by the way? Hello, Peter, you're supposed to be off to the side, ready to jump in. Hello.
God, Peter's trying to have his own moment online, being like, Lisa Vanderpump doesn't want me to succeed. Ha 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 ha. Everybody else but me. Ha ha ha. What if I open my own restaurant? What should it be called? Multiple choice. I'm like, Peter, please stop. Like, even when
Starter Pony Cafe.
Everything's just starters, you know? And everybody wears ponytails. Like, the waiters all wear ponytails. Starters and ponies. That's it.
What did James say here? Because then they get pulled apart, and James
He
like, look
said,
at me, bro.
I'm way more ripped than you, bro.
Okay, that's what I
I'll beat
thought.
his ass. And then Andy goes, actually, you won't. You stay in your fucking chair. Stay in the chair, James. And James says, I'm going to go pee, you pussy bitch. You're a worm with a mustache. And I wouldn't want James to miss his mid-morning rail. I mean, he's probably been sitting here for like an hour. So God forbid, you know. So he's walking off. Then he turns around and goes, you ugly fucking worm.
And he also did his patented thing, by the way, when Andy was like, just stay in your chair. He goes, but he said it first. He said it first.
And then Sandoval goes, what, you call yourself an artist? You've had the same haircut for 9 years. And James goes, oh yeah, it works for me, bro.
I love that. That's like that is Sandoval's like measurement of artistry is like how many times you change your hair. Sandoval
says like objection as counsel for the poor. I would like object to the use of the Lisa Rinna argument. Thank you. Submitted.
Then Sandoval tries again to have a sick burn. He goes,
James pees on a fire hydrant like a dog, and then like that's the dog's like fire hydrant because the dog
what did this
peed
mean
on it.
What does this mean? Did you get that? I didn't get this one.
I think he was trying to say something about like that James thinks that like he's the only one who could have Raquel. Like James is all upset because Sandoval had sex with Raquel, but it kind of got lost in the bad delivery of the sick burn.
Well, yeah, it's not a sick burn either. It's a pretty gross one. So then Lala's like, Sandoval, listen, we've all fucked up, all right? And he goes, I get that. And Ariana goes, shh, just shh. She goes, so stop bringing up stuff from 500 years ago. This is your life partners, okay? And he goes, what does this have to do with James Kennedy? And she's like, because you brought up Christians from like 500 years ago. That's why, okay? You need to step up the curbs and you need to get your act together, bros.
Yeah, this is supposed to be your wife's, okay? This was supposed to be your life partner's, okay? And you've done fucked up, okay? You've done fucked up.
No, she doesn't say you've. She goes, you done fucked up,
sorry,
baby boy. I'm like, oh, no. Literally every time I'm like, Bravo, haven't you gotten in enough trouble? Like, you don't have anybody on set saying like, oh, Lala, could we
stop appropriating
appropriation?
Appropriation.
That's really hard to do in Pig Latin.
Appropriation appropriation.
Anyways,
So Andy's like,
Sandoval, okay, well, I asked. So to be fair, I asked. And Sandoval, once you started your relationship with Raquel, why did you not come clean to Ariana right then? It's just that the words come just clean is just a little scary, that concept.
and then meanwhile, a producer is calming down James, and he's like, all right, James, just remember, use your words, not your fists.
And James goes, tell him he can't beat my ass. I can beat his ass. You better tell him that. And so he comes back, and Andy's like, James, do me a favor. Oh, yeah, I'll be kind to Tweedledee and Tweedledick over there. And Schwartz goes, am I Tweedledee? And Katie's like,
okay, just say whatever you want, but just stay in your seat.
James is like, right, ugly fuck.
He's like, excuse me, did you just call me an ugly fuck?
He's like, no, Andy, you're handsome. You're handsome and you're ripped like me.
He's the ugly fucking one.
And he's like, okay, then stay in your seat. Or you'll be in your dressing room. You won't be on stage, young man. And he goes, oh, for a time out, I'll get my bottom spanked by Lisa Vanderpump. And they all start laughing. I was like, wow, Lisa really lost. They've really taken that steering wheel away from Lisa this year. They're like, nope.
No. James is like, yeah,
I got a spank bottom at lunchtime. A spank bottom. All right, calm down.
What, you're going to spank me with this little 40-year-old cocky cock? Is that what you're going to do? So they're cracking up, and he's like, all right, so let me try this again. Sandoval, why wouldn't you come clean to Ariana? And he's like, Andy, obviously I was scared to, because, like, obviously she was going through a lot at the time, and I didn't want to add anything to that. And Andy's like, well, the $6 million question, when did Sandoval confide in you, Schwartz? And here we go. Someone please pull out a wooden board and get a piano tinkling, because Schwartz is about to tap dance. Hit it, Pearl.
So like starting in July, he'd been confiding in me that he like wasn't happy and then all this shit. And around that time, like after guys' night, he confided in me, but he also confided in Raquel. And I was like, wow, confiding in Raquel, like that's pretty intimate. And then I think around that time, I think, was there like an Avengers movie or an Ant-Man that came out? So I went and saw a movie. And then like I went and I ordered from Panda Express. Oh, it was orange chicken time. Oh, it's sesame chicken. Oh, it's a limited time menu item. It was so good. But then afterwards, I was like really dehydrated. So I had to go to 7-Eleven and get myself some water. Smart water. Because I make smart decisions. What was the question again?
It's like, nice job there, buddy. So Ariana's like, by the way, when Charlotte's body wasn't even fucking cold. And then we see the clip of her finding out that her dog had to be put down in Vegas and crying. And Schwartz is like, yeah, but I didn't know that in the moment. I mean, he said he confided in her. Katie goes, by confided in her, do you mean he put his penis inside of her? Sick burn. You can try that Katie sick burn at Something About Her. It's a jalapeno on white bread sandwich. So coming soon.
No crusts. So basically Schwartz is doing this whole like song and dance about like whatever, and Katie's like, "Can you just say when he told you that you were fucking? Can you just say it? Can you get down to it?" He's like, "Oh, I think it was late. It was late August. Yeah, because I met up with Tom and he broke it down for me." And Sandoval's like,
he's got his furious eyes. He's like, dude, August. And he's like, yeah, late August after the wedding. That's when you told me. He's like, he's so mad because Schwartz is totally going off script now. Listen, you have to put fear into Schwartz. He's going to follow the person who scares him the most, and it's Katie. We all know it's Katie. Don't try and get into a mean war with Katie. She will scare the shit out of anybody before Sandoval ever does.
Lala's like, "Oh, did you guys not put your timelines together?"
And then we see a clip of Andy with Tom, flashback to yesterday. And he's like, so what did you tell Schwartz? And Sandoval's like, I would say lie eyes, mid to late January, Andy. And then cut back. And Ariana's like, I know you had to coach the rat all day yesterday, so you didn't get to coach this one. Aw,
and it cuts to Raquel in the trailer doing the raspberry thing, where she goes, wow. God, this episode of Step by Step is really taking a dark turn.
So then we go to the Mexico kiss. Sandy asks, in Mexico, when you kissed Raquel, and Schwartz, he says, did you not think of, what did he say? He asked something about kissing Raquel.
Mm-hmm. He said like, did you know?
Oh, did you not know? I wrote did you not know, but I spelled no N-O. Really intelligent over here.
Andy's like,
there's a moment in one of the later episodes, and you say to him, I have this gut feeling that she kind of has a crush on someone else. Like, were you talking about that situation? And Schwartz goes, yeah, honestly, yeah. I think that like subconsciously is why I brought it up. I was like, you are such a dick. I mean, it's weird that I'm saying you're a dick for blowing up your friend's spot for being a dick, but like you are being a dick to your best friend. Like you're basically trying to out his affair on camera, which is like obnoxious, but also valiant. He's like fucking with him, right?
He's fucking with him, saying like, dude, I mean, I think it's just obvious. I think he's thinking it's just obvious and this is going to fuck them up, and Tom needs to do something about it. I think that he's being like, dude, hello, do something, because you're about to fucking ruin our whole business, So then Ariana's like grossed out. Ariana's looks, I mean, so she's like, every time it cuts to her, she's giving some other kind of dirty look. And Schwartz is like, listen, you guys, I'm not an idiot, okay? And Lisa goes, darling, I mean, it's like Nick Lane saying, I'm not talented with lightery. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So Schwartz says that they got drunk in a hot tub, and that's when Sandoval told him in the hot tub that they had a one night stand, and then Sandoval said all the typical things like, oh my God, what have I done? I made such a huge mistake, like the whole spiel. And then Sheena goes, excuse me, was this like before or after glamping? And And Schwartz is like, it was before. And then we get the glamping flashback of Schwartz saying, Raquel has a type. Men that are taken.
So he's like, yeah, there was no doubt about that's when the conversation happened, and then during the fall, they spent an inappropriate amount of time together, which of course is because they were done filming. So they were just being brazen at this point, thinking they got away with it. All they had to do was just get through the reunion. Obviously, no one's going to call them out, right? So then Andy is like, Tom, why were you encouraging Schwartz to make out with Raquel after you had sex? Was it a decoy? And he's like, absolutely not. When that happened, that could never happen again. And Schwartz like, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. And Lisa Vanderpump's like, it's macabre, darling. It's perverse.
To encourage your best friend to make out with someone you just slept with, that is what I call ratings gold.
It's
Everyone
a
take
flower.
notes.
It's a table without flowers on top. What a horror show. How could you, darling?
So, and then Katie has a good theory. She's like, it was a great way to distract away from the affair. I mean, it wasn't a good thing. Well, we're all saying that.
Yeah.
But like, it was at that time when it was being filmed. I'm glad she said that. So Andy is like,
Sandoval, you said you started cheating on Ariana because things have been so bad in your relationship. But Miami Girl was early in your relationship. So how do you explain that? Basically, here's a new plate. If you'd like to put some fresh bullshit on it, be my guest.
I don't know. I just not felt single in years, and so I wanted that feeling again before it got serious. So I cheated on Ariana early, so I didn't have to cheat on her later. It's called being prepared in a relationship, Amy. You're welcome, Ariana.
you don't get to do that. You haven't felt single in 5 years, just want to have a taste of it. That's not how that, well, it could be how it works if that's how your relationship is set up, but that is a piss poor excuse for cheating. Woe is Tom. He hadn't felt what it was like to be single in 5 years. Yeah,
but
also you're in a relationship.
him and Chris. Well, I know that Kristen has said. I don't know if he said this, but Kristen said that they cheated on each other all the time and that their relationship was a mess. So no, it wasn't your first time feeling single because you'd been cheating the whole time you were with Kristen.
Yeah, so Andy asks Ariana about Miami Girl, why were you willing to forgive him about that? And she says at that time they weren't really exclusive, or it wasn't as serious, and she saw the rest of her life with Tom, and she just wanted everyone to see the best in him, and because that's what she saw at the time. And then Sandoval's like, yeah, and during that time, Kristen was on a rampage, and Ariana's like, no one cares about Kristen. Okay, we're not talking about Kristen.
It was 8 years ago, loser. You fucking loser.
Bisk.
Just to point out, again, I thought we weren't allowed to bring up the history books from 8 years ago. I thought that everything from 8 years ago was completely irrelevant, James. So you're kind of going back on your own argument. But okay, it's still fun. I'd still love that you're yelling at Sandoval. But why is it not okay for him to go back to history, but it's okay for you to go back to history?
That is true.
Guys. You're all
just hypocrisy, but I'm on their side, obviously.
Me too. But you got to point it out.
It's good to point it out.
Listen, we're keeping score in a very important Super Bowl of our lives. All right, had to put it up there on the board. Go ahead.
So Sandoval's like, listen, dude, we're not look, because Lala says, see, it just proves that you haven't changed. And Sandoval's like, but I wasn't with the Miami Girl, it was not we were best friends or something like that. And Lala's, okay, so when you're not that serious, you don't fuck the best friends. But when you are committed, then we fuck the best friends. Got it.
Yeah. So Ariana's laughing. She's like, yeah, there you go. And Sandoval gives a furious glare. He's like, I'm trying to cry furiously, but I'm also confused. I hope this is reading to everybody at home. So then Andy is like, we're back. Oh, by the way, just because we just went to a commercial break, I just wanted to announce. So I have a friend here in Austin, one of my little besties over here, who knows this girl that was supposedly hooking up with Sandoval here in Texas, in Austin, because Sandoval came and played Butte, Texas a couple weeks ago and was seen around with this blonde girl. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's this new blonde and it's this new girlfriend. He's totally over Raquel. So this is what this girl posted yesterday on her social. She went dark the minute this. I'm sorry I'm putting on so much lip gloss, by the way. I'm working on my lip exfoliation, and I'm talking a lot today.
Oh, wow.
So she posted on her Insta after going dark since this all happened. She said, anxiety tip. If you hang out with a famous person, be prepared that someone will likely take your picture, sell it to the tabloids, butt your face on blast, which I'm assuming, she just didn't spell check that. Tell everyone you're dating and give you the worst anxiety you've ever experienced. Thank you to my closest friends for being there and checking on me right now. P.S. I'm not dating Tom. P.S.S. Find better hobbies. You find a better fucking hobby. You're the one hanging out with Methy Tom all over fucking town. Don't get mad at us, weirdo.
Yeah. I love when people make statements to be like, stop talking about this, as they put out a statement on social media.
Sorry, I know famous people. Okay?
Sorry, I know terrible people. So Andy's like,
Well, it's easy to forget that before Sandoval and Raquel's affair, this group was dealing with 3 seismic breakups. Lala and Randall, which I'm putting first on the list, so that way by the time we get to the end of the list, you'll forget about it. Sorry, Lala. James and Raquel, and Katie and Schwartz. Katie, after 12 years being with Schwartz, oh, by the way, sorry, James and Lala, I'm not going to ask you about your breakups. Katie, after 12 years being with Schwartz, what was it that made you realize it was the end of the road? Was it when we showed footage of him swimming in a river right before your nuptials?
and she's like, well, stepping outside of my life for a moment and realizing I wasn't happy and that he prioritized everyone else over me, like that was like the end for me. And Schwartz goes, by necessity. Okay, in the moment, like, sorry, I'll let you talk. It's like, thanks, Schwartz. Thanks for being, I love how, never mind. I can't make an articulate comment right now. I have nothing that I'm holding back. I just know I can't form my words properly, so I'm just going to move on.
He's like, but it was necessity. It was the bar. And she goes, it was parties. It was strangers in the room. I mean, listen, it was everybody, Andy. He prioritized literally everybody over me, and I had to make a choice that I didn't want to make. So then Schwartz comes in with his big victim pitch for the day. He's like, well, it wasn't like a huge surprise because like the intimacy was dwindling, but it was like the worst like moment of my life because like I was almost losing my father, my brother had cancer, I was running out of money. I mean, I was really in it. I mean, that being said, I would never expect Katie to put her feelings on hold and just stay with me out of pity, which, this was also like, I'm a huge victim man and I can't believe she would do this to me. But he's also like, excuse me, she did leave me at like the worst moment of my fucking life, okay? And I'm not sitting here crying about it, except that you are sitting here crying about it.
Right.
So you just invalidated the man is the one who deserves the sympathy.
Well, he's doing that typical Schwartz thing of like, yeah, no, it was just a terrible time for me, and things were terrible in my life. But no, she should have done it. Like, I wouldn't want her to stay with me out of pity just because, my dad almost died and ran out of money, and there's crocodiles from the Nile in Florida now that are eating people. But no, but it was good. She left me at a terrible time, but I don't hold that against her. It's just, she just has to live with that. But it's fine.
So Andy gets into you had an agreement not to hook up with anyone in the friend group, which he didn't hook up with anyone in the friend group, but whatever. And Katie is like, yeah, I mean, you went to listen, I set that boundary, blah, blah, blah. We've heard this before, right? And then Schwartz is like, that was reasonable. But for the record, if she had done that, I wouldn't care. It's just like a little rich, like you were having sex and hooking up with people when we were still living together. You didn't think that hurt me? Okay. Sure, Tom. If that's going to be your argument, I could see that. Katie leaves you at the hardest time in your life. Okay. That's when she decides to drop the bomb that she's leaving. Then she starts fucking dudes in your marital home while you're still there. Okay, Tom, did that hurt your feelings? I get it, Tom. That's an argument that you make at the time and say, I'm not going to agree to not dating our friend group. You're hurting my feelings and I'm going to date whoever the fuck I want to. You don't get to pull that out a year later and become some victim. You were the one who agreed to it in the first place and you were the one who fucked it up.
Yeah.
And you know how fucking pissed off I am that you're making me stand up for Katie right now? I'm very rarely in this position, but you, sir, are not the victim here, okay? Your time to complain about being a victim was while this was all happening, not after you were publicly taunting Katie on national TV and being an asshole and publicly humiliating her in Mexico and all the other shit you did. Not the time, sir, and I hate you for making me make that argument. Thank you. The defense rests for the public defender of people I normally would not be defending. Thank you.
The law firm of Karam and Vanderpump.
The law firm of I don't like you, but I'm defending you anyway because, God damn it, I'm making minimum wage doing it.
Yeah, he made a deal that he couldn't keep up with. Like it's not about whether or not like it was a reasonable deal. The point is that he still said he would do it, and then he didn't do it. So,
Yes.
so Katie's basically like, yeah, I slept with people, but anyone you know? Anyone you know? No, I don't think so. So she's like, you could have had sex with someone too, just not in the group. So Schwartz is like, oh, the friend code is murky. And Katie's like, okay, don't think you can have that opinion since you were chatting on, like you were cheating on me while we were together. I don't think you can say that because you were cheating on me.
And then the proof of this is a clip from 2014 where Sheena's like, or where Katie's saying, Sheena said you were making out with someone. And he goes, and that's not bullshit. Okay, but again, this clip is from 2014. So are we allowed to pull out the history books or not? Because this is another 8-year-old clip. So you guys kind of need to get that argument together because you're making me crazy over here.
I'm totally down with that. The people like, I'm down with the Toms don't get to pull out the history book, but everyone else does because I just think that's more fun.
Okay,
it might not be balanced, but it's just more fun. It's more fun that every time they try to go, that they get grilled, be like, don't go into the past, but then everyone else
it's not
does.
something like I'm super furious about. I just think it's funny because this cast is so full of shit. They're all so full of shit. They're all such fucking hypocrites about it. It's like every time they say something to defend themselves, like, you can't bring up the past, and then they bring up the past in every single argument. Like,
so Schwartz is basically like, well, just so you know, like if the roles were reversed, and I started dating and hooking up with people, while we were living under the same roof, like, and then 6 months later, you kissed Peter in Mexico, like, do you think that like I would have a leg to stand on to be upset with you for that? And she's like, Katie's sort of like, you could tell Katie's like, he has a point. So she's like, you're not the victim in this. Okay, quiet. Shut up.
She goes, darling, I'm telling you, you don't have a leg on to stand on in this. And he's like, I'm just saying there's a double standard. No, there's not. And also, I'm so sick of you two. Your relationship was toxic. Your marriage was stupid. You never should have been together. I'm so fucking sick of both of your negative, whiny little asses. I'm sick of watching you on this show. And this plotline was made up and stupid anyway. Schwartz didn't even barely do anything with Raquel. And we all know that now. We all know what was really going on. Why do we have to talk about it? Just F, darling. F.
Andy's like, he's like, so Sandoval, what do you think about this? And Ariana's like, well, he thinks it's perfectly appropriate to fuck one of my closest girlfriends. So I think it's a silly question to ask him. Sandoval's like, no, I don't think it's appropriate. And then Ariana's like, well, you did it a lot. So it's like, but it doesn't mean I thought that what I did was appropriate. It's just like, like, you weren't nice to me, Ariana. So Schwartz is like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry I did it. Like, but somehow that kiss was liberating. So I'm like, wow.
I'm so sorry, but oh my God, I've never felt better. Wow. I'm really sorry I hurt your feelings, but I feel like when the Little Mermaid got her legs and she was able to talk and marry the prince at the end. This is amazing.
So Lala's like, how sick that you felt that way, and her like the whole time was like fucking your best friend. Like, this is like sick right now. And Sandoval's like, it was a one night stand before it became a multiple night stand. Okay, like, so it's a lot different than an ongoing thing, which it did become. So like, shut up.
And Vanderpump's like, it doesn't matter. It changed the whole relationship, and then your best friend is making out with her. There's something strange about that. All right, now I'm not going to let that one. That is weird. And Andy's like, can I make a point about something? You're a group of cheaters. James, you slept with Kristen? Oh, mate, yeah, in my early 20s. He's a 40-year-old man.
Andy's basically like, excuse me, I'm trying to read you all for filth here. James, you slept with Kristen while she and Sandoval were still together. Ariana, you cheated with Sandoval while Tom was with Kristen. And Schwartz, you made out with literally everyone when you were married with Katie. And James and Lala, you had sex with each other despite being in relationships with other people. No one in this group has clean hands except for Katie and Lisa Vanderpump. But honestly, who really knows? So, I mean, look, you're all prepared to come after Sandoval and Raquel. But how is that not hypocritical? Seriously.
And I think he already knows the answer. Like, we all know the answer, which Lala says. But she's like, none of us was fucking our best friend's Mounts. That's what it. Which I think Andy knowed. I think Andy was just like, I just wanted to remind people of how amazing this show really is. It's very rich with history. Please go rewatch on Peacock. Ding.
I also, it's kind of amazing. Why did it not come up, or maybe it will come up? Why did Andy never say something like, hey, Sandoval, Kristen, there was a time when Kristen was you in this situation. Kristen slept with Jax. I mean, it wasn't an ongoing thing, but she slept with Jax twice, and Jax was your best buddy, and that was so hurtful to you. How did you not reflect on how this could be so hurtful to Ariana?
Yeah. Well, I don't think. Yeah, well, he was also off fucking like a zillion other people as well. Those roommates, like none of them have a leg to stand on because they've all been standing up for each other for years and years.
It's like a pirate ship at this point.
Yeah, it really is. So Andy, and it is like the honor among thieves kind of thing, because you see what happens when they're really backed into the corner and start turning against each other. Like Tom suddenly starts turning against Jax for being a cheater when Tom knows that he was also a cheater the whole time. And then you've got Schwartz in this, like refusing to go along with Sandoval anymore and giving up his timeline because now he's really in trouble. It's like, no honor among thieves, darling. That's where the saying comes from, sweetie. Sweetie. All right, where are we? God, this is long.
It's so long.
It's ridiculous.
It's so long, and I'm very nervous because the cleaning lady is here today, and
I hear her like vacuuming over there.
I know. I'm so sorry, everyone. That is the cleaning lady vacuuming. That is not the sound of Tom Sandoval railing someone upstairs. But I'm very nervous that she's going to try to walk in here during this. So
that's not the sound of James in the bathroom right now taking a Coke break, vacuuming up Coke. All right, guys, we took the vacuum lady as a sign. This will be a 2-part recap. The next part will be up very shortly. Thanks for being with us. See you soon.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't No Thing Like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Dana C. Dana Do. She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ruru LaRue.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Hey, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Arisha.
And we're the hosts of Wondery's podcast, Even the Rich, where we bring you absolutely true and absolutely shocking stories about the most famous families and the biggest celebrities the world has ever seen.
Our newest series is all about the teen movie icon Gabrielle Union. After spending her childhood trying to assimilate and breaking into a racist industry, Gabrielle thought her success meant someone else had to fail. But when she's faced with hard choices beyond her control, she realizes that the only way to find real success is to come together and build community.
In our series, Gabrielle Union, Bigger, Badder, Better, we'll tell you how she shook off her need for perfection, found her true self, and created the life she always wanted.
Follow Even the Rich wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on Amazon Music or the Wondery app.
From Wondery comes a new series, Flipping the Bird, Elon versus Twitter, a story about what happens when the richest man on the planet decides to acquire a powerful social media company in the name of free speech. But does he have what it takes?
It started off promising.
Or is this all just about Elon?
He's essentially mad that his tweets aren't performing as well as he would have expected them to.
It really just felt like, okay, this really is just a platform being ruled by a dictator who does things on his own whims.
And what will be left of Twitter by the time he's done?
Basically, my entire team was gone. By the end of it, infrastructure was just completely gutted. He'll tweet a thing and then everyone's like, we gotta work on that now because he tweeted it.
I'm supposed to believe this man is a genius.
It just felt like everything was kind of descending into chaos.
Follow Flipping the Bird wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, Prime members, you can listen to episodes ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today.